Welcome back, here we go, escape rooms week 3. As you can see, we are really good at making messes. I'm not sure if we're good at making things other than messes. Ripped the wood off the wall. We've ripped a lot of drywall and walls out. And we've started building some new ones. We're gonna get right into it. So this is our first time working with metal studs, and I have to say, it's actually pretty satisfying and fairly easy. I'll give a very, very basic overview of how to do it. And like I said, this is very basic, but you get the track, you cut it to length, and you fasten it to the floor. In our case, we're drilling through the concrete and using concrete anchors. So installing these studs is really simple. You just stick it in the track, line it up. We're doing 16-inch on center, and you twist it, and it locks it in place. And it's our understanding that for the interior studs, that's good enough, because once you put the drywall on it, it'll hold it in place. However, we are taking a little bit extra precaution, sticking our little level on there, making sure that it's level or plumb. And we have this little crimping tool that we're going down here and kind of just crimping the stud in place. Give it a little extra. Really easy. You can see there, it just kind of pokes a hole. And in some places, we're even going further than the crimp and going ahead and putting some self-tapping screws in there. But that's a real basic explanation. This is certainly not a tutorial, but it gives you kind of an idea of what working with these studs is like. And then when we do an intersecting wall, we just take the track, and in this case, we cut the edge out, and it slides right underneath the other piece of track. And then we'll run a concrete anchor right through the middle of that. And then we can put our next stud up. So pretty simple. I'm not sure if that's the exact way you do that, but it's working for us. So we finally started working on the interior of one of our rooms. This is gonna be the first room we try to finish completely, and it's a magician themed room. So last night we put up one of the walls separating out the first portion of the room, and then right here we're building a little ticket booth. This is gonna be like a theater lobby. And we pulled some more electrical out of the wall. The tanning beds that were in here all used 240, which clearly we don't need, so we went through what was left and tracked it back to the panel, pulled it all out, removed. We also have an abundance of just regular 110 outlets, so we've been slowly removing the ones that we don't need and just I don't want to say fixing the wiring, but changing it. I'm gonna skip ahead slightly because a lot of this was just very repetitive, but you can see we've got up some drywall. We can take a look at the game master room here. I guess we're putting plywood up on the inside because we're gonna be mounting a lot of stuff. You can see drywall. You can see this room coming together. Just the general framing. But today, we're working in here, and we're finally gonna get doing some theming. We got one more door, free-hung door to put in, so we're taking out this pocket door. We put up some wall sconces. These are nice LED wall sconces, and we're about to turn this into a theater lobby. So we're finishing up the drywall there. We got a ticket booth here. We're starting to frame in for some puzzles. We got the door on here. I skipped showing a lot of this stuff, but now we're gonna work on doing some theming. We're gonna put up some wainscoting and some wallpaper and trim. Get this thing starting to look nice, and we're gonna hopefully today start building out at least the top of the door that leads into the actual theater of this. This is, I believe I've said it a few times, but this is gonna be a magician room. Starting in the lobby of a theater. You're gonna go into the actual theater over here. And then you're gonna end up backstage in these two little rooms. And then this is gonna be the way out. The object of this room is not to escape. It has a different object, or objective rather, not object. But we did put a door leading out of the final room anyway. Jumping ahead quite a bit here, this is a new week and I'm gonna kind of skip showing us just doing nothing but studying and drywalling and starting the mud for the past week. Couple more things we did, hung some doors, stuff like that. Today I'm by myself. I'm gonna get a second coat of drywall mud on the walls, and then after that, I'm hoping to get to some detail work that I can show you, some good fun stuff. So, wish me luck. And we're finally doing some detail work. And you can't see it because I had to shut the few lights off that we did have in order to wallpaper around them.
Did you wire it all those here?
Yes, I did.
Well, we could turn it back out and get some light.
We could, but they're all unhooked. So anyway, I have some wainscoting that I put along the bottom here. And there's a gap, but we're gonna put a little piece of wood to make it look better. And my wife and I are currently wallpapering, and it's not fun. You having fun?
It's messy.
So we made some mistakes with the wainscoting and the wallpaper hanging that we're now making up for. You see Lindsay's finishing it over here. But when I put the wainscoting up, I didn't account for the section width of the wallpaper. And I'm gonna have a piece of trim that runs in between each of these little sections. The problem was it wasn't lining up with the wainscoting underneath, so it looked funny. So I had to rip all that out, and I'm about to redo it and do it correctly. And on this side of the room, we are building a surround and a sign here that says theater. So what we're doing is cutting some wood, and we're actually gonna build columns that protrude from the door. And then this sign up here that's gonna say theater is gonna protrude or overhang even further on the columns. So I'll show you what we're doing for that here in a second. So back here, they're cutting the wood to build those columns on either side of the theater door. And what we did was we just took 3/4 inch plywood and ran it through the table saw to, actually we didn't measure how wide that really was. We just had a nice straight piece of wood that we approximated and said, yeah, that's about how far we want it away from the door. So maybe we should measure it.
Nah, approximation's good enough.
This is part of one of the two columns that are gonna go on either side of the theater door that I showed. As you can see, we've partially assembled it with the plywood, and we're going to take it, screw it to the wall, and then we'll lay the top on it and air nail in it. Now, we wanted to air nail the sides too, but they were too bowed, so it just wasn't working even clamped, like actually keeping them tight to the board. So we did have to use some screws, which we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna cover them up, because we don't like the look of it. So we're fastening this one, and once that's completely on, we'll take this board and stick it on the front, just like we did over here. This one's complete. And then we've got a little decorative, it's a little bit hard to see, but we've got some decorative trim that's gonna go on the front of it, and it'll make it look really nice. And then we will get started on the overhang. I think that is a good stopping point for the day and for this video. We got our two columns in. We got the ticket booth is starting to look like something. We've got wallpaper going on. Got another puzzle back there, that's Houdini's water tank. I'm gonna fix the wainscoting in the next video. Sorry, I'm really tired, so I'm talking slow. We got plenty of detail work still to go, but I mean, at least it's looking like something. And it's not just putting up metal stud walls and drywall. Oh, that was the other thing that we've been doing, is putting several coats of drywall compound on the drywall that we've done and sanding it. But that's gonna be it for me today, this week. It's been a long week doing this. So until next time, thanks for watching.